Hello once again, everybody. Steve Pollock can get you updated on what's happening with Louisiana Raging Cajuns softball. Of course, the Cajuns coming off of a three-game weekend non-conference sweep at the hands of the Oregon Ducks last weekend in Eugene, Oregon. Cajuns lose the first two games mercy rule style fashion, scores of 8-0 and 10-2 before suffering a heartbreaking loss in the series finale as they fall by the final score of 2-1. But the Cajuns right now, of course, still plenty to play for. Got a regular season Sun Belt Conference Championship on the line this weekend. They could wrap that up against ULM. More on that in a moment. But they're 34-8 on the season, currently number 10 right now in RPI. So again, still a lot to play for this season. And you look at that trip to the West Coast. Not to make too much excuses for the team, because, quite frankly, they could have played better. Yet at the same time, you go back to 2012, that really good Cajun team that they had in 2012, Stanford came to Lamson Park from the West Coast, didn't fare very well. Then the Cajuns that same year, they go on the road super regional action on the West Coast to play Arizona State. They won the first game, but Arizona State won the next two games handily. Last year, super regional at Lamson Park, Arizona, arguably the most storied program in college softball history, comes into Lamson Park. They play fairly well the first game. The Cajuns win by a run. Second game, they look like a deer in the headlights. It's difficult to play when you go to the West Coast or when the West Coast comes to the Central Time Zone. It's a couple of time zones over. It's just difficult. I mean, if Oregon would have made the trip to Lamson Park, it might have been a different story. And that's all due respect to Oregon. I mean, they're arguably the best team in the entire country. But that's a difficult trip. I think the Cajuns will be better in the long run because of it. Okay, this weekend, taking on the ULM Warhawks, a team that's vastly improved this year, a team that's fighting for position themselves in the Sun Belt Conference race. But Louisiana right now needs only a win to capture a Sun Belt Conference regular season crown and be a number one seed in next week's Sun Belt Conference postseason tournament, which will be held in San Marcos, Texas. Game times this weekend, 2 o'clock doubleheader on Saturday and a noon start time on Sunday. You can hear all three games, ESPN 1420 and ESPN1420.com, beginning with the pregame show 15 minutes prior to first pitch. Cajuns would love to not only win the series, but complete a sweep this weekend, give them some momentum heading into the Sun Belt Conference tournament. They still have a chance, although they need a little help, but they still have a chance to be a national seed once the NCAA regional pairings are announced in just a couple of weeks. But first things first, Cajuns taking on a pretty good ULM softball team this weekend. Again, doubleheader Saturday at 2 o'clock, single game Sunday at 12 noon. That's what's happening this week and this weekend in Louisiana Raging Cajun softball for ESPN 1420 and ESPN1420.com. I'm Steve Peloquin.